Alright, it's been 2 years since I actually made a video, and I figure what better way than to demonstrate the gauge settings for my 2014 Ford Mustang GT500. Uh, just like the 2013 GT that I used to have, it has a very similar gauge reading. The only difference is a few SVT logos with some Cobra emblems. The miles per hour are up to 220. And the gauge mode is the first thing I'll demonstrate. You just hit the right on the arrow, and then it shows you the Cobra emblem with how many miles till you have till empty. Then if you go over one more, it's just basically a temperature check, air to fuel ratio. It has a digital boost vacuum reading so that you could see the power that you're getting with your supercharger. This comes standard on all the GT500s. And one thing I actually did notice is that on the first 500 miles of the car, the boost vac never went over 10 psi, which is something I think that the factory was programmed to do before reaching 500 miles per hour. But since then, I've been able to get it up to 20 psi on the digital gauge reader, as you can see. Few more is inlet air temperature, the oil pressure, which is going to be low when the car is turned off, the oil temperature, which isn't on since the car isn't on, the voltage, and then if I go back, obviously it's the two trip meters. I always reset my trip meter every time I fill the tank up, and I have a little bit too much fun with this car. I only get about 11 miles per gallon. And this is the Trip B, which I've never reset since I've gotten the car. I bought it used with 114 miles on it, so that's about right. And then it gives me the fuel economy, and again, this is not the type of car that you want to get if you're looking to get like 20 miles or better for the gallon. And just like the GT Premium that I had, it has track apps, and the first thing is the advanced track control, the comfort for the steering wheel, and if you hit over one more time, you have launch control. You can set the RPMs for whenever you want to do a quarter mile or a race. So if you see other demo videos, you can set your RPMs to a certain range, and then you activate it, and then when you're in first gear, you're holding on to the gas, and the gas won't go over the set RPM range until you let go of the clutch. It's actually pretty good for beginners if you're not used to running quarter miles and you don't know how to do it. This helps you prevent from the tires not catching right away because you're either giving it too much gas or not enough gas. So this is a nice little app, but I've heard complaints about it, that it just doesn't sync up and catch right away. And obviously, to turn it on, you would just hit the launch control here, and I have it turned off right now because obviously it's for track use only. A few other things are the accelerometer, and it just basically tells you when you're braking, your acceleration, your ratio to the right, left. And then you could do obviously your own timings, a quarter mile, the 0 to 30, 0 to 60, 0 to 100, 1 8-mile. Didn't do any yet. Plan on doing it when the temperature gets a little bit warmer. You have your brake performance for 60 to 0 and 100 to 0. Don't really feel like killing the Brembo brakes on this thing either. And I have no results either, so no times there. Then we go back and we have settings. So then it's the vehicle. You have the auto lamp delay. You can set it for 20 seconds. Locks, auto lock, auto unlock, menu control, standard. Then you have your oil life reset, shift point. This is actually a cool feature. I have a shift lamp, but I don't turn it on. And then the shift tone, so if you set it on and then you set your shift to a certain amount of RPMs, it'll ring, or the SVT symbol right here will go off. It's actually really annoying. I don't like it. Then you got the steering feel, which is sport, standard, and comfort. Sport is probably the tightest of the of the options. I personally don't like it unless I'm driving on a narrow road. It's just like a tight steering wheel. The Comfort is more casual driving, and then Standard is slightly less tight than the Sport, so I stick to Comfort. Then I have My Color. If you saw my original video, I went through the demonstration. It's the exact same way. You change the light settings on your gauge any color you want. I'm sticking with the blue for now, and you could change the halo to any color you want. You can go to red. I'll usually do a red halo, and then the gauge color will usually be blue. Then you can obviously set your colors to any one you want. Then you have your My Key, create your key, so it'll automatically save all the settings that you like to your car. Language, not going to switch. Then it has the standard information, My Key, obviously no keys I saved, so it won't have any. The system check is probably the best part. It gives good, it actually keeps track of your oil life pretty well. I know I kept my car in storage for about 3 or 4 months, and then before that it hadn't gotten an oil change in 2 months. So it was giving me the warning sign and within the normal 6-month range to get the oil change. So this is actually a pretty accurate tool and a good reminder for you if you don't keep track of how many oil changes you've been going through. And then it goes through all the normal checks. The tire pressure is also the second probably best alert that I've had. On the Shelby, I've had 2 valve stem issues, and they went off right away telling me that there was an issue. And I got them replaced really quickly under the factory warranty, so that was a very useful system check. And that does it for the 2014 Shelby GT500 menu run through. Not very different. The 13 and 14s obviously have the same menu options. The GT Premium and the GT500 are very similar, with a few additions for the GT500, with the shift light for the SVT and the boost vac for the supercharger. Alright, thanks for watching my video again, guys and girls. Make sure to subscribe, like, and check out my friend's website, dorkofalltrades.com.